What's going on? How you guys doing?
We're doing outstanding. You're doing really well. You got the follow-up to a multi-platinum My Kind of Party Night Train coming out October 16th. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. I'm excited. It's been a couple of years since we released the My Kind of Party record. So the fact that we finally got something else coming out, man, I'm couldn't be more excited.
We had a chance to listen to the whole album, and I just noticed kind of a theme. It talks a lot about going home and missing home. Was this something intentional, or did it just kind of happen?
You know, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think sometimes it just kind of happens. I think other times, you know, I think you're just drawn to certain songs because they kind of speak to you a little bit, and you know, so I think it's a little bit of a combination of both. I mean, you know, obviously if you know you're only the songs that you find are only going to be, you know, you can only cut the songs that you hear. So, you know, it depends on what those songs are. But, you know, I'm also drawn to songs that I really, you know, that I feel like kind of represent me and you know, kind of what I'm feeling at the time.
15 tracks on this album. That's actually a lot of cuts for an album nowadays.
Yeah, it is, you know, and that was something we started on the last record, man, when, you know, a lot of other people were putting out, you know, 6-8 song albums, you know, putting less songs out on the record. You know, we decided to kind of go the opposite way and put more songs out on the record. So, you know, it was something we started on the My Kind of Party album and obviously worked out really well for us. And I felt like, you know, the fans would get more for their money that way. And, so that was something that, like I said, worked well for us last time, and we wanted to do it again on this record.
Jason Aldean on with the K102 Wakeup crew. If you're tracking through this album, you got the Jason Aldean sound that you really are looking for and that you want, but there's some great surprises on this. Tracks like Wheels Rollin', The Only Way I Know, with, of course, Luke Bryan and Eric Church, 1994, Black Tears. I mean, it's so cool. What is like your song that on this album that you go, man, this one's really going to knock them dead?
You know what? I think I hope there's a lot of them on there like that. But you know, I think that's really the thing with me when I go in to record a record, man. Is I want to kind of stay true to that sound that's kind of gotten me to this point and those types of songs. But I also think that, you know, as an artist, I mean, you want to kind of travel down some different roads every now and then, and I think that you know, some of the songs on this record, you know, allowed us to do that. You know, and I think there's a lot of songs on here that, you know, are different like that hopefully will take people by surprise and in a good way. But you know, I think 94 is just really cool. I think it's something that's really unlike anything we've ever cut. Black Tears is the same sort of thing. You know, and I think songs like that really are different. They're not just kind of right down the middle songs. I think are the ones that really kind of strike a nerve with people, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. I think that those are the songs that really kind of make people passionate about music. And, you know, and those are the ones that ultimately, I think, turn a good album into a great album when you can find songs like that.
You talk about 1994, and I know Muss had a chance to listen to the album before I did, and he went, "Oh, you are going to just freak out when you hear this
song on the album."
Thank you,
he
man.
was just going crazy for it. It had a little bit of a teach me how to Dougie feel to it. And I don't know if it's because of the Joe Diffie and the Diffie. I don't know what it was, but I thought, this is like the country version of that song.
Well, you know what? That song was, it's probably the quirkiest thing we've ever cut. And it was honestly something that kind of came in at the last minute. And the songwriter, Luke Laird, who played it for me, actually came in and played me some other songs. And at the end of, when he was getting ready to leave, he just kind of said, "Hey man, you know, I got this other thing that I don't know if you like or whatever, but you can listen to it if you want." And he put it in, and I just I couldn't help but start smiling and just I thought it was just so weird and just funny and cool. And, you know, and me being, you know, I graduated high school in 95. So, you know, going back to 1994 when Joe Diffie was all over the radio. And, you know, I remember going to see him in concert when I was in high school and just kind of making reference to a lot of his songs in this 1994 song. To me, I just thought it was something that was really fun and different and just kind of added a lot to the record.
Have you spoken to Joe Diffie about this cut?
I have not. We actually he put a call into to us about wanting to possibly come in and sing on the record. But at the time, like we really didn't know what we wanted the record to sound like. I mean, honestly, we had just found the song and kind of really didn't know what direction we were going to go with it. And just kind of said, if we decide to do some sort of video or something, I would love to have him in there on it. And Joe's he's got a great personality and for people that maybe younger fans that don't really remember, I mean, he's probably one of the best singers that the country music's seen in a long, long time.
Okay, saying that Joe Diffie wants to work with you, knowing that you're going to be performing at the CMAs, is there any chance we might see a collaboration or something there?
At the CMAs?
Yeah, I mean, just throwing it out there. I don't know.
Hey, you never know. I never say never. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'd be fun.
Maybe there'll be a collaboration of the Luke Bryan, Eric Church, Jason Aldean cut, "The Only Way I Know."
You never know.
Oh, not giving us anything.
Know. I do know that I'm performing on the show. I can tell you
Well,
that.
thank you for confirming that.
Well, now tell us a little bit about that collaboration, how that came about, and how much fun that was to work with your boys.
Well, obviously, I mean, Luke and I are, Luke's one of my best friends, and we've known each other for a while, and and we've talked about working together for a while, but I think those kind of things. It depends on the song. I think the song's got to be right. I think, it's got to be the right kind of, everything's kind of got to come together, and it's all got to be perfect. And, we didn't just want to go out and find a song to do together just because we wanted to do a song together. I think the right thing had to come along. And this song came along. David Lee Murphy wrote the song and brought it to us. And the more I listened to it, the more I felt like this might be the song that we could do. And then also, just being on the road, I had Eric Church out on the road with us last year, and I'd known Eric for a while, but got to know him a little better last year, and really a fan of his and what he does, and so I just thought it might, it'd be cool to, for Luke and I to do something, and even cooler if I could get Eric on board with us too, and it just was one of those things that I think fit everybody's style, and it just worked out, and I'm a huge fan of both of those guys, so to have them on my record, I was pretty proud of that.
Jason, the reason that Night Train has moved up to October 16th and the release date is because of a single called "Take a Little Ride," the highest debut of any song so far in your career. Pops on the charts at 19, went number 1. This is just an amazing song.
Well, thank you, man. This song, "Take a Little Ride," was actually a song that got pitched to us for the My Kind of Party album, and when we got a hold of it the first time, we basically were done with the record. We had already cut the My Kind of Party album and really just weren't looking for any more songs. But I liked the song and just kind of didn't have anywhere to put it. And luckily, when we started to cut this Night Train album, it was still available and nobody had recorded it. So it was one of the very first songs we cut. And I think I think when you're getting ready to release an album, you want to put something out there that's maybe a little more right down the middle. I think this is a song that people, when it comes on the radio, they know it's one of my songs. It just kind of has that vibe to it, and it's I think when you're getting ready to release an album, you want to put a song like that out first, and then kind of come with some some different things after that. Start to kind of travel down some different roads from, starting with the second single out. But I thought this was the perfect single to launch this album. And obviously, sitting at number 1 after, 9 or 10 weeks. I mean, it's been pretty crazy.
There were a lot of songs that I'm listening through and thinking, this one's my favorite. And then finally get to the last song, Water Tower. And I'm thinking it's going to be another song about a water tower singing about a small town. But I love the way that it took you by surprise, because it was as if you were having a conversation with the water, kind of talking to it like it was an old friend. That was so cool to me, and I found myself listening to the song right away. Again, just play. I want to hear it again.
Well, that song to me, really kind of describes, my life in Georgia when I was growing up there, and kind of me having to make the move to Nashville, and and just wanting my whole life to get out of there and you know, get to Nashville and do this for a living. And, you know, and then once I moved here, just, you know, now it's like, you know, I all I want to do is go back there and hang out. And it's like, you know, you start to see these things on your way home that just kind of like, you know, kind of let you know that you're back in your comfort zone a little bit. You know, you're back in your place. And to me, that was kind of the thing about that song that I was really attracted to. And, you know, that from, you know, everything from the opening line, you know, it says state champs white and blue, you know, I mean, which this is probably irrelevant to everybody else, but I mean, you know, when I was in high school, like, I mean, those were our colors. And, you know, playing in state championships and in baseball and things like that when I was in high school. I mean, just, I don't know, I just kind of felt like the song was really, you know, all the way around was just something that I could relate to and kind of represented, you know, a lot of the things that I went through.
Let's see, we touched a little bit on the CMAs, and that's coming up November 1st, of course. If Brad Paisley were to go down with some kind of like strange injury and he could not, you know, fill out the rest of the show, would you be able to step in there and co-host with Carrie?
Yeah, probably not. You know, Brad's pretty good at that deal, man. I think they, you know, they may grab somebody like Blake or maybe even Luke, you know, guys like that like to talk a lot because they'd probably be better at it.
So making Brad and Carrie's monologue or in those jokes or anything like that, is that kind of an honor, or do you get squirmy, or how's that work?
It just kind of depends on what it is, I guess. You know, I think, you know, for the most part, I think, you know, a lot of that stuff's all in good fun, and it's, you know, it's usually pretty good. But, you know, it just kind of depends. There are some things that a lot of times it gets said and you're just like, ooh, you know, it kind of makes you cringe a little bit.
Now, I don't want to create your set list for you at all for your live shows, but I'm listening to Wheels Rollin', and to me, it seems like this on-the-road anthem is kind of like your own Turn the Page. You can hear the pain and at the same time the pride of the adventure of being on the road. It just sounds like that song right before we close the curtain, before they come out for that encore.
Well, and that's kind of how that song came about, man. We were, you know, on the road and we're playing Bon Jovi's Wanted Dead or Alive in our show. And a couple of my songwriter friends came out and watched the show, watched us do that, and just kind of talking, you know, out loud. I was like, man, I really wish we had something like that. And it's funny you say Turn the Page, because that was the other song I referenced. I said, you know, it'd be cool if we had something like that, or like a Turn the Page, you know, something that kind of gives fans an inside look at, you know, what life is like on the road for a musician and things like that. And so they started writing this song and kind of started sending it back and forth to us, you know, here and there. And we changed some stuff and ultimately ended up with the version that's on the record. And I think it's, you know, it's exactly what you're saying. I mean, it's a kind of an anthem for, you know, an artist and what it's like. You know, people get to see the glamorous side of everything. What they don't see is the, you know, all the traveling and the behind the scenes things that are, that get a little crazy, you know, and all the downtime. And I think songs like this kind of give you a window into that a little bit.
Jason, thanks for the time, man. We appreciate it. And good luck with the album. It's outstanding. We love it. And thanks a bunch, bud.
My pleasure, guys. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.